taken in for a touchdown by Kyle Hamilton. Still going. Keaton Mitchell all the way. First down and more. Taking it all the way into the end. Replaced by Rock Yassin. Catch made by Njoku. 8th play of the drive. 2nd and 1. It's Hunt running hard. Picks up a first down and 2. Here's Hunt. Kareem Hunt picks up a first down. Steps up. He's in. Jackson in trouble. Down he goes again. Ravens with a 7-point lead. Ball comes loose. On 2nd and goal, it's Edwards. Touchdown.
He's not going against a slouch.
Watson complete. Amari Cooper. Browns pick up a first down and looking to run. No, their last 2 possessions. Picked off and taken back by Newsome. Downfield chased by Smith. Watson sets. He throws. It is complete. Watson, pump fake. Crosses midfield. Deshaun Watson, Ford. Hard to bring him down. Still going.
Let's go! Let's go!
If you keep playing on it and it gets hit again, it's going to continue to crack.
Because this is a clear indictment on the doctors and the medical staff of the Cleveland Browns.
I guess it's remotely possible that he actually fractured his shoulder during this Sunday's game at Baltimore, but I doubt it.
This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend, the end of our elaborate plans, the end of everything that stands.
So I had an entire video. It was 37 minutes of unedited footage that I was about to go to work on. Talk about how this team just turned a corner, how Deshaun Watson was officially on his way to becoming who he was, who the Browns signed him to that historic contract to be. And then this, fractured shoulder, out for the rest of the year, needs immediate surgery. The win against the Ravens, we could go through and recap that whole thing, and we'll touch on it a little bit here and there, but this is all about where this team is headed for the future now. Where are things going? What is the plan? What is the ceiling that this team can reach? Because in general, fans feel like the season is now over. There's no redeeming it. There's no way to overcome things. Some people are even writing off the idea of making the playoffs. But before that, let's just reflect on the contract, the situation, the $230 million guaranteed. A lot of people talking about he's played 2 seasons and he's only played, 12, 13 games in that process. The Brady Quinns of the world, the talking heads saying, oh, he has his money and he actually has no reason to even want to play. Of course, he's not trying to push through. And now to go through that game and to know that the fracture happened in the second quarter and he also had the ankle injury, that he's running for that 16-yard run on that final drive to help seal the win. The dude is a competitor, the guy's tough, and he's going to come back. I still believe that his best football is ahead of him. Colin Cowherd being on the air today saying that this is akin to all the other teams who have mortgaged their future on top-level quarterbacks, like the Bucs with Brady and the Broncos with Peyton Manning. It's not the same thing. Those guys were very old. They're 35 plus when they made those deals. Deshaun Watson is 28 years old. He's still under contract for another 3 years. It's going to be fine long term. But right now, this season, where do I believe we can go? Where do I think we can go? Do I think we can make the playoffs? Do I think we can win a couple games in there? Do I think we'll miss the playoffs? Here's the honest, true answer. I think we could make a serious push in the playoffs. I think we could still make a Super Bowl. Once upon a time, there was this little team called the Denver Broncos. The 2015 Denver Broncos, to be exact. Yes, Peyton Manning was their quarterback, but was it the tail end of his career? Was it his final year in the NFL? Yes, it was. Did he get benched periodically because Brock Osweiler? Was he placed over top of Peyton Manning at one point? Yes, he was. Let's look at the Denver Broncos quarterback play from 2015. Peyton Manning passed for 2,249 yards. Brock Osweiler led the team in touchdown passes with 10. As a whole, they passed for 19 touchdowns and 23 interceptions. Yet, this team was able to make a Super Bowl, to beat Tom Brady in the AFC Championship, to knock off the league MVP in Cam Newton and take home a Lombardi. Their offense ranked 16th in the league in total yards per game. They ranked 17th in rush yards per game with 107.4 yards per game. They ranked 24th in pass completions, 19th in scoring, 12th in yards per carry with 4.2, 25th in first downs, 19th in time of possession average, and 20th in sacks allowed. They were also tied for 19th in turnover differential. So how did this team make and win a Super Bowl? They had a historically great defense. Think Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, great additional pieces like Derek Wolfe, Danny Trevathan. That sounds a whole hell of a lot like the 2023 Cleveland Browns. And you might say, oh, Von Miller, he was so great that year though. We have Myles Garrett. Von Miller only had 11 sacks that year, and he played all 16 games. That Denver Broncos defense ranked first in total yards per game, yards per play, third in rushing yards per game, first in yards per carry, first in passing yards, second in yards per pass, fourth in points per game, eighth in pass completions, seventh and third down percentage, first in sacks, tied for first in forced fumbles, tied for fourth in fumble recoveries, and tied for 13th in interceptions. I'm sure there are some marks where the 2015 Broncos will wind up being better in terms of regular season performance when it's all said and done, but the point is that the 2015 Broncos were a bad offense. They were not good. Even think back to that Super Bowl. Peyton Manning did nothing. He threw a 2-point conversion. That was it. That game was won by Von Miller. He was the MVP of that game. And that is what I felt in my heart that this team was. Going through the early stages without Deshaun Watson, that's what I was feeling. That this team could be a team who is willed to a championship regardless of who the quarterback is because of the greatness of the defense. If you can just minimize turnovers, if you can still run the ball effectively, if you could just shut down some of these offenses, get ahead, have a great kicking game, you could win, and you could win the whole thing. Look, I'm not sitting here saying that the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying you should be optimistic because it is possible. The season doesn't hinge on winning on Sunday with DTR against Pittsburgh. It will only truly be over with no chance once we're eliminated from playoff contention. And even if we lose this week, we will still hold a playoff spot. So this season is alive. It is so alive. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Would it have been a whole hell of a lot easier if Deshaun Watson never got injured? Absolutely. That was basically a guaranteed playoff spot. But we are very, very, very much alive and in this race. My initial projection for the season was 12-5. The 2015 Broncos were 12-4. We are 6-3 right now. So I know people want to give up hope. They want to just say, we have the worst luck. Cleveland Stadium was built on an Indian burial ground. We are forever cursed. We are not. This is one of the toughest things this fan base and this team will ever have to overcome. But this team is closer than ever. This is the best head coach this team has had since the 90s. This is a fantastic rushing attack. And more importantly, this team is closer than it has ever been. They truly love one another. They care for each other. And we have all of these pieces that play hard for each other. Let's look back at that Baltimore game. It wasn't all what it was cracked up to be. Deshaun Watson didn't win that game on its own. Who tied it up, or who got it within 1 point at least? It was Obo Okoronkwo tipping a ball with his helmet or his hand, whatever it was, and Greg Newsome capitalizing on it, scoring a touchdown. Greg Newsome tweeting today, "You're gonna regret if you bail on us right now." And that's what I believe, man, because this team fights for one another. They will keep pushing. They have played in worse circumstances. They won the playoff game in Pittsburgh with half of their team on COVID, with Kevin Stefanski sitting in a basement watching. This team can overcome. They have proven that they can overcome, and they will overcome. How far they take it, who knows? But just know it is still possible. Crazier things have happened. Worse quarterbacks have won Super Bowls, but not as many great defenses have ever existed as this team's. Myles Garrett has the opportunity to become an MVP with how far he can take this team. Zadarius Smith is that DeMarcus Lawrence number 2 older guy who can make a serious impact as the season goes on. Then look at our defensive tackles. Look at Obo Okoronkwo, the spark plug coming off the edge. Look at JOK leading the league in TFLs. Look at Anthony Walker being that field general, being the adult in the room, the quarterback for the defense. Look at Sione Takitaki coming back from a torn ACL, having the season of his career. Look at Rodney McLeod, the 12-year vet. Look at Grant Delpit, ready to earn a contract extension. Look at Denzel Ward. Look at Greg Newsome. Look at Martin Emerson playing at a Pro Bowl level. This team is ready. This team is ready to overcome everything. It does not hinge on one player, even if that player is the franchise leading quarterback, the guy who we mortgaged the whole future on. People wanted to bail on the Browns when Chubb went down. People wanted to bail on the team when Watson first got injured. They have performed better than anyone would have given them credit for. So I challenge you to head into Sunday ready for war, ready to avenge Nick Chubb's injury, ready to uphold and respect the fighting spirit that Deshaun Watson laid on the line on Sunday to get us that win. Has anyone ever put respect on Cleveland's name? Absolutely not. It's always been Ohio versus the world. We know that. We knew that in 2016 when LeBron went 3-1, rallied back, and beat the best team in NBA history, statistically speaking, of course. And this could be the greatest story in the history of sports. Not saying that it will, but just know that it's possible. Anything is possible any given Sunday. So rally together. Let's pack that stadium on Sunday. When things don't go our way, if DTR throws a pick, if we have a fumble, if we give up a touchdown to Kenny Pickett's mini Whopper-size hands, you don't bail on this squad. You rally behind them and you put energy, you put wind in their sails to overcome every obstacle, because that is what this team is made of. So to me, this is setting up for the greatest comeback. If it's not this year, maybe it's next, but our time is coming. Another generation will not pass before we see the glory. I firmly believe that. So as much as we want to fold, folding will do nothing. Surrendering will do nothing. There is no surrender. We fight on, we show up, we support our guys, and we get ready for war. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support on this page. It feels like this is what was meant to be. Me starting this channel this year, finding a group of people who believe and will not wallow in misery to say, woe is me. This is the new generation. Regardless of what gets thrown at us, we will overcome it. Look at where this team was in 2017. 0-16 record. Look at where we are now. Dealing with more injuries than we've ever seen, but still in playoff contention. Great things can happen when you believe, when you buy in. So let's buy in. I know it's a real gut punch, but that is the fighting spirit of Northeast Ohio. That is the fighting spirit of Browns fans who are mocked, the looks of pity that are put upon us. We don't need any of that. We got each other, we got this team, and we're gonna keep on grinding. So let's build this community, share this with a friend, share it with someone who's down, let them know there is hope, there is something to keep fighting for. Again, I am just so appreciative of everyone who's been supporting this channel and the growth. Let's just keep pushing it out. And guys, keep the faith, let's keep fighting. Don't fold, don't bend the knee, bow to no man, especially not if they're from Pennsylvania. We will see you in the next one. Much more to come, and let's be great. All right. Love you all.